Hello everyone, we've got a few minutes till 8 o'clock. I just thought I'd say hello a little early. I would like to know if you can hear me please, and if you can see the screen. And so if you could just let me know in the chat. If you haven't already done so, please can you click the two speaker bubbles at the top right hand side of the screen so you can chat to me. And let me know, can you hear me? Can you see me? Well, not me, can you see the slides? And please, can you also let me know who you are and where you're calling from? That'd be grand. Hi, Robin. So you can hear me. Can you see the slides too? Oh, wow. Yes, you can see the slides. We love modern technology when it works, and you're over there in Houston. Houston, we have liftoff. I could not do that really, could I? Catriona, good to have you here. You can hear me, but you can't see me yet. Robin can, so it must be working. Are you on an iPad or something? So Catriona, are you able to see me yet or not yet? Ah, yes, you can see a slide with a bubble. That's me, slide with the bubble. So that's good. Excellent. Hello, Maria. You're from Bristol. Lovely. Thank you. You can see the slides. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Great. It looks as if we're on the way. So I've just checked my phone to see what time it is. The clocks have chimed, so it indicates to me that it's 8 o'clock. So, hello, Hina, is it from India? Hello, Hina. Oh, you're up a bit late. Thank you for staying up so late for us. Hello, Francis. Hello from London N14. I don't know where that is. No, you're Three Sneezes down the road from me. I'm up just up the A1M. Just above the M25, so it's not far at all. Lovely, lovely. Welcome to you all, and welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening. Hello, Gavin, you've joined me too. That's amazing, wonderful. Oh, and there's more. Hello, Sally. Stopford, just up the road in Hertfordshire, yes. That's wonderful, amazing. Thank you so much. Right, and once again, welcome, and thank you for joining me this evening as I'm going to burst the 5 main myths about the Bach-Flower Remedies. And I was going to say, if you haven't already done so, because some of you may not, please click the 2 speech bubbles at the top right-hand side of the screen and let me know where you are and where you're calling from. And only I can see your chats, nobody else can. So that's good. So make sure, please, you've got something to drink. We'll be here for an hour or so. This is your time to learn more about the Bach-Flower Remedies so you can help yourself and your family with their negative feelings. So put your phone on silent, mine is, and close down Facebook and all your emails. I've done that too, so that you can concentrate on the webinar and you can make some notes. First of all, I'll be going through the 5 of the most frequently asked questions, probably ones you've asked yourself. And I shall be answering questions that I have received from you and ones I've received over the years. So the common thoughts about the remedies. The first one, of course, has got to be rescue remedy, and overdosing and side effects, taking the remedies if you're on medication. And somebody wrote and said that remedies can't be taken if you've got some particular diseases. And it's more effective, the remedies are more effective if you take them straight from the bottle. And a host of other questions I have answered too. And I've added a little information about a few of the remedies because that's what I like to do. So I'll be sharing some stories with you. Nothing helps you remember the remedies like a story. And I'll tell you a little about Bach himself. And although the history and philosophy are important, we only have a short time together this evening. And what I really want to do is clear up some of the misunderstandings about this amazing healing system. And I'll be telling you a little about a few of the remedies. But first, I would like to introduce you to James and Marie. James's life was an emotional and financial mess. And using the Bach-Flower Remedies only, we managed to unravel things from him. Maria found life stressful. So James said using the Bach-Flower Remedies has been nothing short of life-changing for me. And those are only just a few simple words, but literally through the use of the Bach-Flower Remedies, James turned his life around. And Marie said, I have used the Bach-Flower Remedies for a number of years to help me lift my mood and spirit, I refer to them as my best friends, and I can rely on them to work out any problem, fear, or issue I'm faced with. Whenever I need them, they're there for me, and I would strongly advise you to get to know them well. When Maria first came to see me, she also was an emotional wreck and on antidepressants, and now she's a lovely mum and doing fine. So a little about Edward Bach. This is the only photograph there is of him, so it's the only one you'll ever see anywhere. So everybody uses the same one. And Bach was a deeply spiritual man, and the basis of his philosophy and the glue that holds the Bach system together is health depends on us being in harmony with our souls. Bach was a sickly child, and he always wanted to be a doctor. At last he convinced his father to let him go to university. He qualified towards the end of the World War I. He then went to London, where he worked in a hospital, literally with his hands in the blood and guts of humanity. Then he moved to Harley Street, where he had a highly successful practice. But he soon grew disillusioned with the results of medical drugs. And he was taken with the philosophy and the principles of homeopathy, and he became a homeopath. He felt there had to be a simple and a natural healing system that we could use ourselves. And he started to observe his patients, and he came to the conclusion that all disease starts in our emotions. As soon as you notice a change in how you feel, if you heal those feelings, you won't become ill. His book, Heal Thyself, is a small book that's packed with excellent and practical philosophy, even if it is written in an old-fashioned language, because it was written in 1936. Here is the full quote from Edward Bach. When we walk the path of our soul, we are happy and healthy. When we deviate from the path of our soul, we become unhappy and become ill. You will notice unhappy first, ill second. But what exactly are the Bach flower remedies? The Bach flower remedies is a natural, simple and complete system of healing. The remedies are made mostly from British English wild flowers in a very special way that makes them extremely effective healers. There are only 38 remedies. That covers every single emotion we feel. It doesn't seem possible, I know, does it? But it is so. But there isn't just one feeling or emotion for each remedy. There are 12 signs of the zodiac, and we all have personal characteristics of our sign. And the same is true about Bach flowers. The first remedies that Bach found, he called the 12 healers, the soul remedies. And each of these has a complete personality picture, just like the signs of the zodiac. The other remedies have sort of mini personalities. So there are more emotions and feelings involved with all the remedies. But all 38 of them have got our emotions covered. And it's really fascinating when you learn about these remedies and you think, that's really me, or, oh goodness, that's George and he needs that remedy by the bucketful. Or, ooh, that remedy is going to help Mary. It's a simple system, and all 38 remedies do cover every single feeling that you have. As I said, the remedy has a personality all of its own, just as we do. And it can seem daunting if you try to remember each of the remedies. But it's easy to remember the remedies that you recognize in yourself, or you recognize in the family, or other remedies, and the other remedies you just need to study. Or somebody tells you a story about one of the remedies, then it's easier to remember. Edward Bach believed that the only true healing comes from when we heal ourselves and we come to know ourselves. Self-knowledge is an extremely important part of the process of healing. There is so much in Bach's book, Heal Thyself. And if you're interested in the Bach flower system, then reading this book should be high on your to-do list. Studying the Bach flower remedies is not hard work, even if there are 38 of them. It might seem a lot, but it's fascinating and it's fun. You discover something about yourself or about one in your family, and it is exciting. And I've got an online course that I'm going to tell you about later. I have made learning about the remedies fun and easy. When you're able to read about a remedy, take it, and it changes how you feel, that's a brilliant gift. It's fulfilling when you help somebody through their bad times with the remedies and you watch them recover slowly but surely. Just how amazing is that? The remedies heal our negative feelings, and in so doing, all the horrid things that we're feeling seem to melt away. They are extremely subtle in their action, so you don't really notice the change. You just suddenly realize you're doing more than you had been doing and that you're feeling better. If you're in an acute state of panic, then you will feel better fast. If you're dealing with something that's deep anger or lack of confidence you've had since childhood, the change will be so gentle and so subtle you'll hardly notice it. But you'll suddenly realize that you're not so angry anymore. This means the remedies are doing their work. So when should we take a batch flower remedy? That's easy. You take the remedy when you don't like how you feel. It's as simple as that. We generally start out buying the remedies we need. And I started out with impatience. This is impatience. See how delicately the flower is balanced on that fine stem? And it swings very easily and quickly in the breeze. Well, when you need impatience, your temper is that finely balanced. Impatience is for when you get irritable with others because they are not going fast enough, like the children who won't get in the car quickly when they're late for school. This is why I took impatience for the first time. So we don't see a lot of emotional states of the remedies in ourselves, but we can see them easily in others. We don't see ourselves as being critical or intolerant. We only see the others as being fools, and we think it's the others, not us. If you're irritable by the habits of others and the characteristics of others irritate you, impatience is going to help a little, but it won't heal. You need a different remedy for that. And if you're not happy and you can't find the remedy that'll bring you relief, it's perhaps time to have a batch flower consultation. Now, let's start dispelling some of the myths about the remedies. Myth 1 is about rescue remedy. It had to be so, really, didn't it? Of all 38 remedies, rescue remedy is one of the most well-known. But it is not a panacea for all ills. It's good for emergency situations, which is why it's called rescue remedy. Bach was visiting Cromer up in Norfolk when there was a really bad storm hit the town. A lot of men were out fishing that day and they were caught in the storm. The lifeguards managed to bring in all the boats and all but one of the men were fine. The doctor said he wasn't sure if this man was going to live. He was in such a poor way. Bach ran back to his rooms, mixed together 5 of his remedies, ran back to the fisherman. The man was hardly breathing now. He dropped a few drops of the mix on the sailor's lips, and almost immediately the man sat up and asked for a cigarette, and rescue remedy was born. I had a similar situation when I was living in Dubai. And this is a story about rescue remedy, but be warned, I got carried away with the rescue remedy stories because they're just so brilliant. Right, there was a knock at the door at 9:30 one night. It was a neighbour's 15-year-old daughter. She was really upset and had been crying. She told me Mum was unconscious and had asked if I would go back to the house with her. She'd rung for an ambulance, but she was upset and anxious. When I walked in, Mother was slumped in an armchair and there were 3 waste paper baskets filled with tissues soaked in bright red blood. She had had a very severe blood nose and lost a lot of blood. Naturally, the poor girl was upset, and the maid was hysterical. I immediately rang the gatehouse and told the guard that the ambulance was coming through and please would he direct it to Villa 47. I also asked him to ring me when the ambulance came through the gates. And then I turned my attention to what was going on in the lounge. Who needed rescue remedy first, the unconscious mother, the worried daughter, or the hysterical maid? Just type one word in the chat to tell me who needed rescue remedy first. Hello, Phyllis, you got here. Wonderful. You're from the US as well. Catriona, the maid needed it first. Who else? The maid? You've heard this story before. Who else? The maid. Yes, you're quite right. The maid needed it first, God love her. She was hysterical. So the maid had 4 drops on her tongue and calmed down almost immediately. And within minutes, she had recovered, and 4 drops for the daughter, and then she was okay too. Then we waited for the ambulance. When I heard the ambulance arrive and the medics get the trolley out of the ambulance, I put 2 drops on Mum's lip. She came round immediately. And as she came round, her nose started to bleed heavily again. But the medics were there now then, and the medics took over. That's how quickly Rescue Remedy works in emergency situations. There are 5 remedies in Rescue Remedy. So here's another little test for you. Hello, Pamela. Oh, we've got 3 of you from the States now. That's wonderful. Thank you. You're in Colorado. I know Colorado. Love Denver. Love Steamboat Springs. So here's a little test for you. So I'm going to run through the remedies and tell you 1 or 2 words about each remedy. And then I want you to tell me which remedies you actually need when you reach for Rescue Remedy. I know you've got slides, but I like to show the remedies, the flowers and the remedies, because it helps you make an additional connection. So if you're in the Batch Flower group, Facebook group, then you'll know that every time I write about a remedy, I give you the flowers as well. So here we are. Impatience is you irritable because of the slowness of others. Clematis is because you're faint and you are ungrounded. Star of Bethlehem, shock, trauma, grief and sadness. Rock Rose is for urgent fear and panic. And Cherry Plum is when you feel as if you're losing it. You feel as if you're losing control of your mind and you literally can't keep up. Now tell me in the chat, which of these 5 remedies do you really need when you reach for Rescue Remedy? So just let me know which of these remedies, and while I'm waiting for some chats to come through, I'll have some water. Oh, 2 of you. Pamela says Star of Bethlehem. Sally says Star of Bethlehem. Is that for the shock and trauma, or is that for the grief for you girls? Rock Rose, yes, Rock Rose. I think it's popular because most people feel they can't cope with the day and they feel panicky. And also I think it's impatience because people get really, really irritable when everything's going so slowly. And we live in a fast-paced world at this point, so most things go too slowly. Thank you, Sally. Grief, yes. Grief is a difficult one to cope with. Okay. So thank you. Now you know which remedy you need instead of reaching for Rescue Remedy. But it is so easy to reach for Rescue Remedy. I know it is. This is little Jessie. She's 3.5 and she loves ballet. I have a little job at a dancing studio. This is how I know Jessie. She didn't like to leave Mum outside the ballet studio, but she loved ballet, and every week there was the same trauma. Poor Jessie was torn, loving ballet or leaving Mother. I watched this problem playing out every Saturday morning. I think I was really good because I minded my own business for about 2 months, which I thought was pretty good going, don't you? Then I stuck in my all. It upset me so much to see poor Jessie upset every lesson when there was such a simple way to fix it, such a simple full solution. So I said to Mum, do you know about Rescue Remedy? And she didn't, so I told her. The following Saturday, Jessie kissed Mum goodbye and skipped into the studio. Mum came in beaming and she said she'd brought a rescue spray. Said to Jessie, open your mouth, and she sprayed a couple of squirts of rescue into her mouth. And Jessie shuddered and said, ooh, brave spray. And off she skipped into ballet, and where they have never looked back since. And now Jessie, who's now a little older, if she's troubled, she asks for her brave spray. So how often can you take Rescue Remedy, or any of the remedies for that matter? If you're dealing with an emergency, you can take them frequently. When you put your drops into a glass of water, you can sip it every 2 or 3 minutes. As soon as the remedy gets up because the remedy gets used up, as it were, quickly in an emergency and in a crisis. So you take it every 2 or 3 minutes in a crisis. There seems to be a lot of confusion about different colored bottles. In my opinion, there are 3 main batch flour remedy manufacturers. The yellow label and the brown 20 ml bottle, which you will recognize, is made by a company called Nelson's Batch. Nelson's Batch bottle distribute the remedies for the batch center. The 10 milliliter bottle with the green label is made by Ainsworth. The third company is Healing Herbs. They've got, again, the brown bottle in 10 milliliters and 30 milliliters for practitioners with the blueprint. I use Healing Herbs, and it's a personal choice. So then on the right, there is the blue bottle. It's a flower remedy, Bluebell, and it's made by a company called Wildflower Essences. I love bluebells, and I wondered if anybody had made a remedy, and then I found somebody had, and I found it was very powerful and had a powerful effect on me. I have tried 1 or 2 other essences made from other flowers, and I haven't been impressed. Bluebell is the only non-batch remedy that I sometimes take. And as you can see, it's in a blue bottle, 20 ml, the same as the Rescue, but it's short and dumpy as against the tall bottle used by Nelson's. The first 3 are batch flour remedies. They are just different brands made by different manufacturers. They all work. There isn't one better than the other. It's just a personal choice, which everybody seems to make, or a lot of people make. And Bluebell is not a batch flour remedy, but it's made in the same way that Batch made his remedies. So we could call it a batch flour, but Bluebell is not one of Batch's own flowers. It's made by a Wildflower Essence company, and they call them Essence, which I'll talk about later. So we've been fairly thorough about rescue remedies, so now let's move on to the second myth of the batch flour remedies. This one is about overdosing and side effects. Many ask if you can overdose and are there any side effects. No, you cannot take too much, and there are absolutely no side effects. I've heard people say they've had side effects from the remedies. I've heard people say they have a healing crisis. It's not possible. When you understand how the remedies work, then you understand why this is impossible. And I'd like to show you why there is no overdosing or side effects. This may seem irrelevant, but please stay with me. The batch flour remedies are vibrational remedies, and vibrations always match. Matching vibrations mean you can only receive what you transmit. You know about matching vibrations because your TV remote works on matching vibrations. Press channel 1, get channel 1. Your mobile phone works by matching vibrations. Your garage door fob works on matching vibrations. The entire universe works on matching vibrations. And so do the batch flour remedies. If you take a remedy that doesn't match your vibrations, it doesn't do anything. It just goes straight past you, as it were. If you take a remedy that's a good match for you, you'll start to feel better. When you take a remedy that matches your vibration, you use that remedy and heal and soothe you. It's a matching vibration. There are no side effects. There are no side effects at all. If you get an aggravation or a healing, you can get an aggravation or a healing crisis with homeopathy. But the remedies, although vibrational remedies, these are not homeopathic remedies. Cannot overdose and no side effects. Now it's a good time to talk about the remedies and how they're made and how they work. And while we're talking about homeopathy, there was 2 more questions about batch flours and homeopathy. Hello, Gail. You're also from the US, from Ohio. We're doing well. Thank you all from the US for signing up. It's very kind of you to join me. So the question was, in homeopathy and allopathic medicine, if the medicine, I'll come back to you, Pamela, if homeopathy and the allopathic medicine, if the medicine stops working, we give a higher potency of the same medicine. What happens with the batch flour remedies, assuming that the remedy is correct? No one is sure how the batch flour remedies work. And because the nearest system is homeopathic, Batch remedies are often classed as homeopathic remedies. They're not homeopathic remedies, and so they don't behave in the same way. There is no such thing as the right remedy stopping working and therefore you need a stronger potency or the same remedy. That's not how it works. If you give the right remedy, it doesn't stop working until you get better. And if you're taking a remedy and you're not getting better, it's very simple. It's the wrong remedy for you at that time. The remedies are mostly made from English wildflowers, as I mentioned, and they are made in this very specific way, made with specific flowers and from trees. So if you're considering making some of the remedies yourself, make sure you do some study and find out how to identify the exact plant you need to make the remedy from. There are two methods of making the remedies. One is called the sun method. The flowers are picked and put into a bowl of spring water, so they cover the surface. And then you stand the bowl next to the plant in the sun for about 4 hours until the water comes to life and the remedy is ready. I have never done this, but apparently when the remedy is, quote, ready, you can see the water come alive. And then there is the boiling method. Again, you pick the flowers you're going to use and you put them in a pan to boil them until, quote, the remedy is made. Then the water is now holding that essence of the flowers, and then they're filtered, and that water is then now preserved in brandy. The top that one, the golden flowers, is gorse, and Star of Bethlehem is in the pan being boiled. So how do the remedies work? And this is a tricky one because none of us really know, but I'll do the best I can, and this makes sense to me. The flower is the highest point of evolution of the plant. So the flower is self-realization. And as I've mentioned, the flowers are put into a bowl of spring water or they're boiled. Heat and fire can destroy. Heat and fire can destroy, but it also can transform. And the heat transforms the energy of the flower and it goes into the water. Water has memory, and so it holds the memory of the vibration of the flower. Vibrations carry information. So that water is now carrying the information that that our body and our soul and spirit can use. That water is the essence or the remedy. But water goes off and it can grow nasties. So water is preserved in brandy. Most companies use organic brandy. The vibration of the remedy is the higher vibration of the personality. And when we take the remedies, our personality is flooded by the higher vibration of the flower. Thus the higher overcomes the lower, and you begin to feel better as your vibration gently and subtly raises the remedy. I've been asked what is the difference between an essence and a remedy. It doesn't matter what you call them, they're going to work. A remedy indicates that somebody is broken and it needs fixing. Edward Bach was a doctor and he would naturally have thought in terms of remedies fixing negative states. After all, according to Bach's reason, we get ill because we have moved away from the path of the soul, and that causes the negative emotions. So the remedies do, quote, fix negative emotions. But the remedies are also called essences in America and by some in Australia. And I think they might be called essences in South Africa too. There's lots of vibrational essences being made these days, being made from all sorts of things, from non-batch flowers to angel energies. However, our understanding of how life works has changed a lot. And the fact that everybody is on their own journey means that there is nothing wrong with anybody. Everybody is walking the correct path at the correct time. So it now seems politically correct to call them essences, but whichever way you use them, remedies and essences will work. I'm doing my best to learn to call them essences, but I slip a lot. Right. So this wasn't on the list, but it was because of the essences. And so many people say to me, oh yes, I know them. They're aromatherapy. And this is not so. But it's in, as I say, it's in the same vein as essences and remedies. What is the difference between Bach flowers and aromatherapy? Essential oils are made by pressing the flowers. Lavender is a well-known oil. And the oils are used externally and massaged on the body and put in burners or put on sleeping cushions under pillows to help you sleep. They are physical oils made from flowers. Remedies are vibrational essences and are made in an energetic way and are taken internally, but they can be used externally too. Oh, and I have a lovely little story, and it's another rescue remedy, I'm sorry, about a baby being scalded. And to show you the power of the remedies when they're used on the skin, I'd love to tell you. I know we've had 3 rescue remedy stories. So let me know if you want to move on or if you'd like to hear about the toddler. So again, just type something in the chat for me, and I will either skip the toddler or I will tell you about the toddler and the rescue remedy. So just type something in the chat, and while I wait for it to come through. Story it is. Excellent. Tell us about the toddler. Lovely. Thank you. Right. My friend Kathy was in her sewing group. There was a heavily preggy mum there who had a small 18-month-old toddler. The toddler was toddling all over the place, and as he went past the tea table, he wobbled a bit and grabbed the cloth to stop him falling. Unfortunately, he knocked a scalding cup of hot tea all down his back. He screamed in pain. The poor mother screamed in fright and fear. Kathy, in one movement, pulled off the toddler's t-shirt while she reached into her handbag for rescue remedy. One should never leave home without rescue remedy. She opened the bottle and literally poured it all over the child's back, spreading it out across his shoulders and down his back. Kathy then tipped the remaining few drops of drops into her mum's tea. Kathy rang the mother the following day to check on her and the toddler. Apart from a patch of minor burns below the nappy line where the rescue remedy didn't reach, there wasn't a mark on the child. Not a blister, not a burn, nothing, just beautiful baby skin. The remedies can also be used on skin, and it was an amazing healing that took place with the rescue remedy and the scalding. The third misleading myth is about that remedies can't be taken if you're taking medication from the doctor. This is not so. The remedies are perfectly safe to take even though you're taking medical drugs. There are no side effects, you cannot overdose, and so they don't stop the medical drugs from doing their work. Medical drugs are chemicals that affect the cells of the body. Bach flower remedies are vibrational remedies, and they work on an emotional level. You can absolutely safely take the Bach flower remedies with your medical drugs. Now here's one of the questions from somebody in my Facebook group. It's an incredibly good group, and some of you I know who are on the call are actually part of the Facebook group. The remedies work subtly and gently. So if you're on antidepressants, then everything is going to be depressed, suppressed, repressed. And so you'll not notice the changes the remedies make. It'll take some time for you to notice that you're feeling better. So the answer is the remedies are not less effective, but you are less aware of any changes taking place. I've heard it said that some people don't believe the Bach flower remedies work as there is no scientific proof. According to science, a bumblebee shouldn't be able to fly. It isn't aerodynamically built to fly, but it does. As the Bach flower remedies, like other alternative healing therapies, they're vibrational essences, and they would need to be measured by their frequency of vibration as against their chemical or physical content. Even though there is no scientific proof yet, the Bach flower remedies do work. Someone asked me, was it safe to take Bach flower remedies if you're diabetic or have high blood pressure? And lots of people have asked me if it's safe to take during pregnancy, which of course is not a disease, but I still put it in here because it's relevant. Once again, because the remedies are vibrational remedies, they do not interfere with medical drugs. It is safe to take them. If you have high blood pressure, it won't interfere with your blood pressure pills, But if you know what triggers the rise in your blood pressure, then taking the right mix of remedies to help soothe and heal your feelings of anger and frustration, or the rising feelings of panic or overwhelm that send your blood pressure high, that mix is going to be a terrific help for you. The remedies can help you be calm and happy in the pregnancy. And if you're calm and happy in the pregnancy, the baby will be a calm and happy child too. And the same goes with diabetes. In fact, with all diseases. Choose the remedies that suit your most intense emotions, and that'll help you. But the main thing is you treat the person, not the disease. Now I'm going to go off track a little, but I'm sure you'll find it interesting, and then we'll get back on track in a minute. This was a question I had that came in yesterday, I think. She said, please can you cover the specific essence which can strengthen willpower and resolve, as in a New Year's Eve, resolution, so that I can stick to my diet, I can stick to going to the gym without pigging out and eating all the non-healthy foods. There are over 16 reasons for eating, and only one of them is because you're hungry. The strongest feeling is the ones that direct your lives. The strongest feelings drive you to become who you want to be. Sorry about the stumble. So make how you want to feel when you've got to make how you want to feel when you've achieved your goal, your strongest feeling. Make your feelings of who you want to become so strong that your reason for wanting what you've got is strong. Wanting to lose the weight and become fit is stronger than your reason for eating. And is there a remedy to help you with that? Well, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? But no, there isn't. However, I have slipped in some information about a few remedies, and although the focus of the webinar is about dispelling the myths that exist, I'll be telling you about how you can find out about the remedies later, and a little about the remedies now. So here are 2 remedies that could help you with this and helping you with other illnesses too. Here are 2 remedies that are the most common feelings of all, and perhaps you might already know what they are, but in case you don't, again, get ready to write. The first one is larch. Larch is for self-confidence, and we could all do with a dollop of that. People use different phrases when they may say they're lacking confidence, and they may say no self-esteem, and others may say no self-worth. But larch will help by giving self-confidence, and the results are really quick. In about 3 days, you can feel a little better. If you had no confidence from childhood, it's going to take time before you get your confidence levels up and that it stabilizes. The other remedy is Mimulus. This is for fears of daily life. It's for known fears. If you know what you're afraid of, Mimulus will help. Now, these 2 remedies can be taken together, as you'll see, as I go through the most effective way of taking the remedies. These remedies work like what they call kissing cousins. They are brilliant together. And the 5th one that I have mentioned is that the remedies are far more effective when you take them straight from the bottle. This is not so. It may seem like it to you, but there are different ways that you can take them. All are equally as effective. You can take the remedies straight from the bottle, and the reason people think they're more effective is because they get the strong taste of brandy. Oh, I have to tell you a little story about one of my patients in Dubai. She had a few appointments, and she liked taking the remedies. After the last appointment, she had rung me and said, "This new bottle of remedies isn't working." She said they were no good. So I said, "Come back and see me." We had another appointment, and I decided to give her exactly the same remedies. So I went into the kitchen, put half a teaspoon of brandy into the same bottle, a few drops of water too, and I gave it back to her. And she phoned me a few days or so later and said, "These new remedies are exactly right for me, and I feel so much better." She believed the remedies were right for her because she could taste the brandy. So this is me making up some treatment bottles after I had given a batch flower talk locally. The treatment bottle is generally a 30 milliliter brown bottle, which you can sometimes get from chemists. Or if you order your remedies online from one of the batch remedy manufacturers, you'll be able to buy treatment bottles from them as well. So you fill the bottle to the shoulder with spring water or mineral water. You add always 4 drops of rescue remedy. It's always 4 rescue and 2 drops of each chosen remedy, up to 5 more remedies. Then you take 4 drops from your treatment bottle and put it into a glass of water. It's not, the quantity is not as important as the frequency. You take your remedies frequently. I have been asked about combination remedies. Every time you make up a treatment bottle, you're making up your own combination remedy. Batch mix together the 5 remedies that the fisherman needed at that time, just as you make up a treatment bottle of 5 or 6 remedies that you need at that time. I know people who have mixed together 10 to 14 remedies. I know somebody who put 42 remedies together, which made my toes curl because there's only 38 batch flour remedies, so what else was she putting in it? But she says it works. Some people buy ready-made combination remedies, but I am a batch lady through and through. Batch said not to mix more than 6 remedies, so I don't. Well, sometimes I might mix 7, but certainly no more. And Batch believed that we give remedies that are needed for our each individual at the time. I am not a fan of commercially mixed combination remedies, but I understand why they do it and why they're sold. So here are several ways that you can take the remedies. If you want to use rescue remedy in a treatment bottle, you count it as 1 and then add 5 more remedies. Sometimes if you've got a list of remedies, you want to take, say, Star of Bethlehem, Rock Rose and Impatience, but on your list you have 7 or 8 remedies. By using rescue, you can count that as those 3 as 1, which means you've now got 5 additional remedies. So sometimes that can be really, really very helpful. So for emergencies and passing moods, you add 2 drops of each chosen remedy to a glass of water. Rescue remedy, add 4, always 4 to 2. And you sip it frequently. In acute emergencies, rescue remedy can be given straight from the stock bottle, but again, 4 drops, just like I did with the maid and the daughter and mama. Right, Catriona wrote, my question would be about dilutions and how much to take over a full day. I'm currently taking 3 remedies together, diluting 2 drops of each in a small 150 ml glass of water. Should this 1 glass of water last me all day, or should I be taking more? Sorry, I can understand that more can be less effective, but I need some guidance here. So the image I've put here is the red ink going into the jug of water, but it's the principle I want you to see. That water will color or be colored pale pink. The water will take on the color of the ink. Now imagine that's remedy. The remedy will change the water, then the whole water becomes remedy. Then you sip frequently, at least 4 times a day. Depends on how critical the situation. The more intense the feelings, the more frequently you sip. If you finish 1 glass, make yourself another one. I usually have 2 glasses going, 1 remedy glass and 1 thirst glass. I find that works right well. So Catriona, it's a matter of the frequency you put it is to match the intensity of the emotions. And if you use the glass all in one day, make another one. But just a small sip, literally half a teaspoon, wetting your lips. You saw how well the mother who was unconscious, 2 or 3 drops on her lip was all it took to have an immediate effect. So I hope that's a pleasure. I'm glad it was helpful. The next story is going to show you not only how well the remedies work, but how effective they can be when taken in water. Here's Sue's story. Sue said, I attended a batch flour workshop with Rose, which I sometimes hold in the local health shop. During some open discussions, I became very tearful and feeling great sadness came over me. Rose just put 2 drops of Bach Remedies into my drink and asked me to sip it frequently. The effect it had on me was instant and was witnessed by the group there. It was unbelievable how it had worked with such amazing speed, and I was smiling in seconds. Thank you so much, Rose. It was literally that. She took 1 drink and then another drink, and 2 seconds later, she was smiling, and she was just so delighted how quickly she felt better. And that's with the remedies in water. I was going to ask you what was in the water, but you will have known. It was Star of Bethlehem. So it's one of the rescue remedies for shock trauma. And in Sue's case, it was sadness. She was just so filled with sadness. She'd lost her husband of 30 years, about 10 months beforehand, and was having a lot of trouble dealing with it. And her family were really concerned that she was struggling so badly. So now let's go on to other questions. Some of these other questions I have received from you, and some, yes, I've received them. I received one from Charles, who said, can the Bach flower remedies heal deep chronic psychological problems and weakness that we gathered in childhood? And yes, you can. The more entrenched the belief and the feelings, then the longer they're going to take to heal. I know I've said it before, but these remedies work. Choose the right one and you'll begin to feel better. You don't have to go into the past. We live in this now moment. What you feel now is a reflection of your beliefs. And therefore, to heal that belief, you need to heal the strongest feelings you're feeling now. A second question, we've been through this, but this was a question that came in from Matthew. So I thought I would include it again. Can they be antidoted or can you overdose? No, you can't. They work. Get the remedy right. They work. And I was going to say, getting the right remedy is the only problem you have, but it isn't. The first and the most difficult problem is recognizing how you feel. That is just not easy. And the second problem you have is choosing the right remedy. However, I'm going to tell you a bit more about this later. So Ruth asked, are there any dietary requirements? This is another question from somebody who uses homeopathy, where there are certain foods that must be avoiding with particular remedies. No dietary restrictions with the Bach remedies. They don't have to be taken away from food. You just take them, and in the water, it's better, as I explained. And here's a general question. Who can use the remedies, and are they safe for animals? Who can use the remedies? Everyone, every day. And a common question is, are they safe for animals? Yes, they are. You can give your animals ordinary rescue remedy. You don't have to have a particular pet rescue. Meat, whiskey, and magic. You know which one is magic, don't you? Because she's black magic. They were brother and sister, and we got them as kittens when we first arrived in England in 1998. I think they must be the most well-travelled cats ever. They went from England to Hong Kong, back to England again, and out to Dubai. It was a 24-hour trip for them from Hong Kong via Bangkok and India. They only had water in their travelling cages, and I put 4 drops of rescue into each water container so that every time they drank, they had a dose of rescue remedy. When I called to collect the cats from Gatwick, the man in the cargo shed said he'd never seen 2 more laid-back cats. They were not upset from their long journey, and they soon settled back into their old house again. So it works wonders with animals. And the next story is about a horse. This is Shah. Sheila came to see me to find out about the Bach flower remedies. She asked if they could help her daughter's horse. The horse had been really badly treated when he was young, and he was now very jumpy, very anxious, as well as being a highly strung thoroughbred. He was a present for her daughter's 16th birthday, and she'd not been able to ride him. So we went through the symptoms: anxiety, fear, restlessness, and I mixed up some remedies for Shah, and I told her how to give them to him. After the first bottle, Shah was a lot better, but he needed a second bottle before he was well enough. And then the young girl was able to ride him, and she was so confident she could actually enter competitions too. So rescue remedy can definitely be used with animals, but please dilute the remedy in water or disguise the taste somehow. Brandy has really strong taste. And remember, the remedies work better in water anyway. The same goes for children too. Please don't give remedy, even the spray, straight from the bottle or as a spray. It's just not fair on the children. It really isn't. So you can see that Bach remedies really work well with animals too. Now back to a couple more general questions about the remedies. And I'll also be telling you some more about the remedies. Another question, why do remedies have got brandy in them? Water goes bad. If you let it stand long enough, it'll grow nasties in a week or so. So the water, the flower essence needs to be preserved. Bach chose brandy as a preservative. There is a remedy called vine, and it's made from the flowers of the vine. And of course, brandy is made from grapes. So that's why he chose brandy. And oak is a remedy. Oak brandy is matured in oak barrels, and brandy holds the integrity of the remedies. None of the other alcohols do, which leads very neatly into the next question. Hello, Shabir. I think that may be the right answer, and you've just joined me. Maybe or maybe not. Perhaps you may have just made a comment. Right. Can you buy alcohol-free remedies? Yes, you can. Nelson's Bach and Ainsworth make alcohol-free remedies. And a company called Creature Comforts that actually focus on animals, focus on animal health. I think they also make alcohol-free remedies. I'm not sure on Creature Comforts, but if you Google them, I'm sure you'll find out. But Nelson's Bach and Ainsworth really do. Are the remedies gluten-free? Yes, they are. There's no grain involved in making the remedies. Whiskey is made from grains. Brandy is made from grapes and matured in oak barrels. And as I mentioned, brandy and oak barrels are chosen to preserve the essences, and they are definitely gluten-free. Do you have to use them by their sell-by date? Absolutely not. Don't throw them away. I still have remedies from decades ago, and they still work. The remedies are preserved in brandy, and brandy never goes off. Sell-by date has been added because of EU regulations and probably UK regulations too. So ignore the sell-by date, they're fine. We've sort of touched on this. Can Bach remedies help with my illness? As I say, we've touched on this, and remedies help with pregnancy, high blood pressure and other illnesses. The question that's often asked is which remedy, and then they mention the disease, like which remedy is going to help for whatever disease. And so I thought it was worth another mention. Remember, you treat the patient, not the illness. You can have 10 people with flu and they'll all have the same physical symptoms, but they will all react to being sick in a different way. You're treating their reaction, not the flu symptoms. The remedies can help you through your illness, but not in the way you expect. And the remedies help heal negative emotions. They have no physical effect. And if you take remedies that suit you best, they will help you feel emotionally better while you're ill. And then that's a good thing, isn't it? So here's an example. What is the remedy for my skin allergies or rashes? It's a perfect example of what I mean. What is the remedy for my skin allergies? Perhaps a skin rash was not a good question for me to choose because all skin complaints are nervous complaints. There are no skin complaints. If anything comes out of the skin, it's a nervous complaint. Bach flower remedies don't treat skin rashes, but they can treat how you feel about the skin rash. How does it make you feel? Irritable, frustrated, so you want to scream? That's what you treat. And then the skin rash will probably go away anyway, but you don't treat the skin. And for irritability, sudden explosive anger, take impatience. If your itching irritates you and you need impatience. However, you might find also that people are beginning to irritate you a lot and you find yourself intolerant and critical. Take beech. Some remedies work beautifully together, and impatience and beech are the remedies to do that. They go well together, just as larch and mimulus work together. Impatience and beech work beautifully together. And when do you stop taking the remedies? This is another really easy one. When you forget. When you've forgotten to take your remedies, it means you're no longer focusing on your problem, If when you start feeling your problem return, that's the time to start taking them again or make yourself a new bottle. Right, can I take remedies on an aeroplane? Yes, you can. You're allowed to take 100 ml of liquid onto an aircraft. A stock bottle of remedy that you buy in the health shop or online is 10 ml, so that's fine. If you've got a treatment bottle with your remedies mixed, it's a 30 ml, so you can take that with you. When I travel, I make a jet lag mix to help me with the flight and with the time change. A 3-hour time change is easy to adapt to. 4 hours is getting tricky. I find taking 1 day, I find it takes 1 day per hour change to get you into the new time zone, and my jet lag mix helps me with that. The quote at the bottom may be too small for you to read. It says, "Final and complete healing will come from within, from the soul itself." Now I'm going to introduce you to the remedies on my online course. I know some of you on the webinar here are already studying with me, so this won't apply to you. And if you leave now, I hope you've enjoyed the webinar. And I hope the rest of you stay to hear about the powerful method of healing that I have used all my adult life. And I am a completely different person. I no longer cover up the good stuff with fear and pain. So stay here to find out more. So I'd like to take you for a few minutes to introduce you to the Bach flower remedies. There are 38 remedies. Each of them has their own personality. It's like going to a party and being introduced to 38 people all at once and then trying to remember who was who. It gets confusing. And it can be really confusing because some of the remedies are similar. How do you know which one to take for best? Well, you need a travel guide. And that's me, of course. That's what I looked like in my airline uniform hundreds of years ago. And this is me now. My Bach flower remedy online course. It's a foundation course of the remedies. It will go through all 38 remedies. The course is easy for you to learn about the remedies, so you can choose the remedies that will suit you the best, and you can choose the remedies for your family. I have been using these flower remedies, as I say, for over 30 years. They have seen me through bringing up 2 children, a terrorist war, changing continents 4 times, and through a divorce after 36 years of marriage. And they have helped me settle in England and start a business. They can help you with whatever you're going through at the moment. As you learn more about the remedies, you will find some work for you and some don't. But like meeting the people at the party, you will resonate with some and not so with some others. And when you begin to use them and experience the results, then you will realize there is so much more to this healing system than helping you get through the stress of the day. This course is not only for personal use, it's a good foundation for therapists who want to use the remedies in their practice and who are interested in self-knowledge and spiritual growth. Here's what Jyoti had to say about the course. I found the course very easy to understand and extremely helpful. I especially liked the fact that Rose walked through every module with ease and using examples. I would highly recommend this course to everyone, whether you or not you're going through problems in your life or not. It's a great door towards living life positively. The course is online and you can access it on your desktop, your laptop, or your mobile or your tablet. This means you can watch some of the videos, listen to the audios wherever you are. You start off with this stress wheel. It will help you identify how you react to your life. As I said, we all respond in different ways. What's important with choosing the best flower remedy for you is to notice how you react to the experiences that upset you. It's not only about how you feel, it's the thought process behind the feelings that's important too. So when you feel overloaded, overworked, yes, you're tired, but you're cross, irritable, and collapsed and can't be bothered. And what do you do about it? Shout at everyone, withdraw from life, just plod along in a resigned fashion? And of course, you could choose the right remedy for yourself and help you through it, to help you through different types of situations. The course itself will take you about 4 to 6 hours. There are 13 modules of videos and slides. Some of the modules are 25 minutes long and a few are just 1 or 2 minutes. The course is available to you for life. One of my students has gone through it 5 times, and she's amazed at how much she picks up with every run through. This is Tammy. Tammy was from Florida. I would highly recommend Rose and her flower essence course. Her teaching style is to the point, which I appreciated, and the fact that you are able to print off the materials for future use was valuable. She has vibrant visual slides, video, text, and audio classes, and that is very helpful depending on your learning style. Rose is there for any questions that might come up and to assist you in choosing your remedies and getting a feel of them. The Facebook group is another wonderful resource. It's just a great group to join. You will also get an online guide with all the modules, an online transcript of the modules, and the slide pack so you can go through it at your own time. Short cases and study quizzes to help you remember the remedies. And going back at the end to the stress wheel to see which remedies you need to help with your stress. I think there are 2 reasons why we don't do the things in life that we want to. One is because you don't know how to start. Well, the course takes you from the beginning to the place where you'll be able to choose the remedies yourself and for yourself and your family with confidence. The other reason we don't do things in our lives, or we start something with enthusiasm and then it fades, is because we have no support. If you buy the course, you'll be able to email me when you like, or we could use the chat facility on the website. Please just take into consideration the time change. But you can join the Facebook group and get so much support there. I post every day in the week about the remedies, the flowers, and some philosophy too. It's an active group with over 400 members, and it's an excellent additional resource. So search the Bach Flower School, and when you study the course, you get access to the group. Here's what Wendy said. She's in the States. I have recently been led to the Bach program and to you. I want to let you know how valuable it is to have a person, you, behind the training. It makes it so much more personal and real. I'm already starting to fall in love with the Bach flower essences. Thank you for putting the time into creating such a well-organized and easy-to-follow program. My soul has been emerging of late, and I know this will become a significant part of my journey. If you'd like a certificate of completion after the course, you just have to write and let me know. And as I say, you will receive this certificate of completion. This is not an accredited course. It is a foundation course. I have no means of knowing how far you've progressed through the course, so when you finish it, you need to write and ask me for the certificate. We've had a long, hot summer in the Northern Hemisphere, and I can't cope with the heat and humidity, and I have used the remedies a lot in the last months. So perhaps you could have used them then too. So I'm offering you a summer special on the Bach Foundation course. The course is normally £78 and the summer special is 25% off, but it's only open and available till 8 p.m. on Sunday. Take advantage of this because it's only a short time for the summer special. Some questions have come through about the course while I have been talking, so I'm going to read them now. Well, as I say, while I've been talking, some questions have come through. Beth has asked how long the course is. It is 13 modules. The length of the modules vary, but most of the modules are 20 to 25 minutes, but the last modules are only 2 minutes. It depends on how quickly you go through it. Some of the students have gone through it, the videos just in 2 sittings. And there are many people who are taking months and who just dip in and dip out when they need something for the family. One of the students went back through it 5 times, and each time she was amazed at how much more she found than the time before. She kept saying, can't they see how I missed that? So I would say you would need between 6 and 12 hours to do it. How long it takes you, Beth, is up to you entirely. And also how much you get out of it is up to you too, because how much you get out of it is equal to how much you put into it. So I hope that's helpful. Christine has asked about the certificate of completion. So again, the certificate of completion when you finish the course, but you, as I said, you had to request one. And it's an e-certificate. All foundation and level 1 courses issue only a certificate of completion. There is no legal regulations about the training for Bach flower remedies, but there are companies who accredit courses. This means the company decides whether the therapist will gain good understanding from the course, and that the course will also give some information on how to run a practice and patient skills. Insurance companies will only accept you for insurance if you have an accredited certificate. The foundation course is not accredited, but I am doing a diploma course, and that will be a diploma course that will be accredited. So at this point, there is nothing on the website about the diploma course, but I'm hoping that in a couple of weeks' time, there will be something on the page that will give you a syllabus of what's in the diploma. But in the meantime, the foundation course is available to you. Is there any questions anything that I haven't covered that you would like to know? Yes, it's the diploma course, Pamela, that I'm working on at the moment. It will, I know you're in Colorado, unless you choose to come over. I do it in a workshop first in the middle of November so that I can get the video. So the 2 days, it's a 2-day course and it'll be videoed. And then the cameraman will break down the video into the sections so that we will begin to put together the actually online course. Right, just a quick question about storage. Said Catriona, you just got best? I think something's fallen off. What is the best way? Keep them cool, just treat them with respect, be kind to them. Mine are in a box and they sit in the kitchen. I don't treat them any particular way, but just with respect. It's a pleasure, Robin. Thank you very much indeed. I hope that you I may see you on the Bach course, and I hope that you use the remedies and find them, well, they are brilliant. I don't have to tell anybody that they're brilliant because they sell themselves and they're amazing. I don't think it matters whether you keep them in the fridge or out, in or out of the sunlight, because they're in a brown bottle. Therefore, I don't think it matters. If you are going to go to an exceedingly hot country for a long time and you're taking 2 bottles with you, like when I was working in Dubai, an Arabic mum and her son were going back to Egypt for a holiday, and she was concerned that the remedies wouldn't last. I said to her, could I put some brandy in to preserve it? And she said no, she didn't want him to have it. Even though it was a medicine, she didn't want him to have the taste of brandy. So therefore, she kept them in the fridge. But that was all. It's a pleasure, Catriona. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Is there any other questions? Hello, Sabir. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I think you are the man that Richard Abbott told me about. Oh, you are so right. We are in dire need of the remedies, which is why the focus of my diploma will be Edward Bach's quote, "The medicine of the future." So is anybody else, shall I go over what, and you make a note of what all the stress that you suffer, and so you can feel, and you make a note of the triggers. So you've got that piece of the stress wheel to work with. Then in the course itself, you've got 13 modules, videos, slide, transcript, all that are easy for you to use and refer to quickly. I'm available. When you sign up for the course, you will get a free month in the Bach Flower Facebook group, which is just an amazing resource. And the course is available for you for life. As I say, there are some people who dip in and dip out when they need to find their remedies. They write to me and say which remedies they need and so on and so forth. That's Tammy. She's a hypnotherapist and she was just smitten with the remedies, as was Wendy. It's a pleasure, Catriona, and yes, it is. That's all it is an introduction. There's a lifetime of study here, but it's great study, and it is such fun. So you'll also get an online guide of all the transcripts and the modules and the slide pack, so you can go through it at your own time. There'll be short quizzes and cases to help you remember it. So it's anchoring with the stories, because you will remember the stories that I told you more than anything else. And then when you get to the end, you go back to your stress wheel and you make a note of which remedies actually cover the emotions that you feel when your stress is triggered. And it gives you an idea of where to start and where to look at. It's a pleasure, Phyllis. I'm glad you could join it. Thank you, Hina. Thank you. Have any of you got any other questions? It's a pleasure, Pamela. It's a pleasure. Hope to see you on the diploma course. I was going to speak to you about Aspen too. I won't forget. I'll just get round to it, but it may not be a while. Well, if you have no more questions, I will close the webinar. Thank you all for joining me, and thank you for your participation. It was great having you. So thank you very much, and good night.